Cloud9 has set their new record for this split of 2 games in a row, won, joined by LemonNation. Lemon, last split, you told me that you guys had not had much practice losing. It seems as though that might be the case now. What has this split been like for you?
I mean, it's been pretty terrible. We've been losing quite a bit, but I think we're on the upswing now. I don't know if it's a high enough upswing to beat, CLG and TSM, who we're playing this week and next week, but hopefully they'll give us a good shot.
Yeah. What has it been like transitioning from Medios over to High? Because it definitely felt as though the team was a very different team once High came on board again.
Yeah, I mean, High is like literally so important to our team. He's like the shot caller. He's the person who's outgoing, like gets us to like do things and talk to each other, and he's the person who will like sacrifice himself for the team and is also like amazing at initiations. Like he is the most important like role filler for our team, I feel. So I think having him back is helping us tremendously.
And is that just like, do you guys just have a new sense of purpose when you get into games? Like, oh, now we can overcome them because we know what to do? Because it did seem like shot calling was the major criticism that you guys had back before High came back.
Yeah, I mean, before we'd be able to get leads, but we just would always end up like kind of like throwing them or not being able to finish out games. Where High is like always talking, always kind of has like a good idea of what to do, and is always leading us basically. So it's been perfect.
Now, what do you think of him as a jungler? Because even if he's leading well in game or whatever, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's like skilled at his role.
Yeah, I know. I mean, he literally like didn't play jungle at all before we like called him like, "Hi, get on fucking jungle right now." But he's been adapting really well, and I know he played Shyvana just now. He played Rengar last week, so it's been like kind of picks that other people don't really play, and I think it's been working out quite well. He's done like very surprisingly well in the jungle to me, like a lot better than I expected.
So, do you think? I mean, you were saying you weren't sure if this was enough to take CLG and TSM in the next couple of games, but where do you think that you guys are right now? Are you back in a top 4 position in terms of strength among the NA LCS teams?
I don't know if it's that much yet, but we've been doing well in scrims. We've been playing a lot, like very consistently, I think, in scrims. Like we've been doing, I don't know, just a lot better than we were before. And we haven't been scrimming against that many top teams though. Like we've only scrimmed against really like Gravity among the top teams this week. But yeah, I think we've been doing pretty well. I don't know if it's top 4 or not. I can't really judge that too hard.
Now, talk to me about the coaching situation, because I noticed that there was a different looking person up on stage today.
Yeah, we have Bubba Up on stage. But Bubba Up and Charlie have both been like helping us out as coaches. Okay. And Charlie just had to do some personal stuff, so he wasn't here this week. And I took over like control of Picks and Bans last weekend. Okay. So I've been doing it last weekend and this weekend. So we didn't actually like need him on stage. We just like called him up on Skype to like help out with Picks and Bans yesterday. Yeah.
So why did you take over control of Picks and Bans?
I don't know, because I'm good at it, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. We also like didn't really have like a strong like voice of like what to do before. Like we were just kind of like, what do you want to play now and that kind of thing. Yeah. So it didn't like kind of work out that well. Yeah. Whereas if I'm in control, I'm more like, I come in with like a more of like a defined plan, I guess. Sorry, I probably messed up that fucking.
No, you're good. I liked it. It added to what you were saying. It added some emphasis.
So hopefully it works out.
Yeah. Now, when you say like you didn't have much control or command, like before, does that mean that now you're like yelling commands? You're like, "Hi, get on Rek'Sai, go," you know?
No, it's not really like that. It's just that I like last weekend or 2 weekends ago, like we Jensen just was like, I'm kind of like feeling Zed in this matchup, so we're just like, whatever. Whereas I think it kind of, we didn't really like have like a full like team comp built around or anything like that. Right. And we didn't really like practice that at all. So I think it was kind of like not the ideal pick for that situation.
So rather than just being like, it feels like a Zed kind of day to day or something like that, instead you guys are like, all right, let's focus on trying to outpick and ban the enemy team, which seems to me like a good strategy.
Well, I mean, you still want to like take into like account like what everyone like is feeling and like what they like think would be the best for them in that day and like in that matchup. So that it's still like you have to take into account everything basically.
Yeah. It's a combined thing. I was asking a lot of the pros last weekend about what they would think of a NA-LCS format change, because a lot of people have been saying like, oh, best of two would be better or something along those lines. And most people were saying, actually I won't tell you about most people because I don't want to spoil it for you. But what do you think? Would you, like, let's say you're playing next year in the NA-LCS, which most recently in a Reddit thread you said same regarding a retirement for next year, so who knows. But let's say you continue to play. Would you like to see a best of two or best of three format in the NA-LCS?
Yeah, well, if you mentioned it, I've also posted about the best of two thing on Reddit as well, and just a comment. But I agree very much the best of two would be the best. I don't like best of threes because one side gets two blues or two purples, and I think that depending on the patch can have like a negative effect. And there's no way you're gonna have two best of threes in a season to have a balance. Whereas with best of twos, I think you can have two best of twos. It would be a lot of games, but I think that's an option, and I think just one best of two would be good too. Okay. I think ideally I would like two best of two, even though it's a lot of games. Yeah. But I think Riot kind of likes having less games so people are more invested in them. Like they don't want to have like too many games just thrown at people. Yeah. Whereas as a player, I feel like having the more games is better.
Yeah. Why do you prefer best of two over best of one?
Well, I think it adds a lot more strategy to the game since you get both sides. It shows who's stronger on that patch rather than just who's stronger on like blue side on that patch. Yeah. And it also allows you to kind of adapt and play against them. It encourages kind of smart pick and bans more than best of one does.
Very interesting stuff. Is there anything that you would like to say to any of the fans out there, Lemon? I know you usually are filled with these big statements about how much you appreciate everyone, all that kind of thing.
Yeah, I usually do have a lot to say to my fans, but I really don't today. So
that's fair. Well, thank you so much, Lemon, for the interview. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of our coverage of all things League of Legends at GameSpot.com/LOL.